Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Elders Boxing. Back again with another weekend recap. So we're gonna cover a couple of cards that late Friday, December the 12th, and then December 13th. We had a bunch of cards last night. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fights, a lot of action. We're gonna get into it. Salute to everybody coming through. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you come in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? Drop your comments, anything, bro. It's all good with me with this boxing. So once again, salute. Come on through. Let me see who we got. My man Mike in the building. Salute to you, bro. Marla Prince back in the building. What's good? Salute to you guys coming through. I appreciate it for sure. All right, so we're gonna take you guys back Friday. I know this card was kind of under the radar, but they had a show Friday in LA. Now this was part of the like a 2-night event that ended with Badu Jack versus Noel McCallan. So this is the first one. Notable guys on the card. We have Vlad Plana. He had a knockout victory. I think it was first round, second round, but it was real early. You know what I'm saying? He's a southpaw, lightweight. Welterweight. He's been around for a while. He got some notable names on his resume too. He got a body shot stoppage. Jaleel Hackett, he got a first round knockout as well. It's interesting that this is his second fight in a row fighting above 154 pounds. He came in at 156 on the scale, so maybe he's making that journey to middleweight. It is what it is. He landed an overhand right, kind of like behind the head on top of the ear, and stopped the guy in the first round. Justin Valoria, he's another good prospect. He got a stoppage victory as well, fourth round. So this card was under the radar. It was kind of hard to find, really, unless you was really tapped in and paying attention to what was going on. It wasn't a lot of promotion for this, so it's still interesting though to see some of these guys on this card that's notable. We was trying to figure out for Jaleel Hackett, we was trying to figure out if he's still with Matchroom or is he gonna go to TKO? Because this is the second time him fighting on a Turkey influence card. Steve Bash is the promoter for these cards in LA this weekend, and he works with Turkey. So we seen Jaleel Hackett during the fight week of Canelo and Crawford. But he looked real good. He got to stop his win over there. So we'll see. We'll see. And it seems like he lost favor with Matchroom, after losing, you know what I'm saying? And then he was supposed to rematch the same guy, but then he hurt his ankle on I don't know what happened there. And it looked like they don't got nothing for him. Because if he was with Matchroom, it seems like he would have fought last night on the Pacheco card. I don't know. But it is what it is. He was able to get two more victories this year, and we'll see what's next for him in 2026. Z Pacino in the building. What's good with you, bro? Salute to you. All right. So we got so before we get to like the main cards that we seen last night, we had a bunch of under the radar fights that was kind of interesting. So Marco Verde, he fought Rafael Beckway in Mexico. It was a 6-round fight. You know what I'm saying? It was basically a wash for Marco Verde. He won this fight by unanimous decision across the board. All boxing of Beckway. You know what I'm saying? Just doing whatever he wants. He wasn't in no threat. Wasn't hurt, nothing like that. He's just all boxing. So he moves on. He's 4-0 in his first year as a pro. He's a Mexican Olympian, trained with Eddie Reynoso. So let's see if they can step him up or, at least got him fighting 10 rounds. I think he can fight 10 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Not sure on the projection. He's a solid fighter. I don't know if they need to rush him. But he's all right, though. He got the win last night against the veteran of Beckway out of Houston. Also, last night, we had a return of former world champion Luis Alberto Lopez. He stopped this kid right here. He was playing with his food, bro. You know what I'm saying? The first round, he hit my man with an overhand right. Dude was stunned. He was like, he didn't know what to do. And then Venado Lopez just sat there and watched him and just I thought the ref was gonna stop it, but he started playing around with him, playing to the crowd. Eventually, they got to the third round, and he ended up stopping them along the ropes. But anytime Ronaldo wanted to stop that fight last night, he could. He could have stopped in the first 10 seconds. So this is his second fight back after losing his IBF featherweight title to Angel Leo, and he moved up to 130 pounds, which is under the radar. So he's still with Top Rank. Of course, Top Rank don't have a deal yet in place. I'm hoping they get some shaken. Shoot, I don't know when. Soon, I guess. I know a lot of their guys is fighting on different platforms and stuff like that until they get that shit together. But far as Lopez, once they get it together, man, he gonna be in the mix. Because look, they got Navarrete is a WBO champion. He's gonna unify with the IBF champion, Nunez. That's a good fight. Oshaki Foster is the WBC champion. I don't know. Maybe they'll give him an opportunity, but Venado, he got a crazy fighting style and he can punch. But he looked strong at 130. He looked like two, three different weight classes above this kid last night. It was easy money. So yeah, hopefully Tyron get their deal so they can start getting better matchups for him. JC, what's good with you, bro? Salute to you. But yeah, that was easy money for Venado. Easy. All right, so this one right here was down in Dominican Republic. Two notable guys on the card. We're gonna start with Edward De Los Santos. He's back. He fought a Mexican fighter that was easy money. Nothing really to write home about. He scored a first round knockout. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see him back though, but I ain't taking too much from the win because the level of competition. But he stopped the guy in like the first minute of the fight. Hit him with it just a barrage of punches, and then he landed a nice right hook to drop him and eventually stop him. So Edwin is back. I think he is a player at 135 or 140. So he looked kind of big last night. I'm not sure how much he weighed, but he looked like he was, kind of heavy last night. So, I mean, I can see him back. He got a new management team. He's with Fighters First. That's the same team that represents Brian Norman Jr., Otto Wallen, a couple other guys, Justin Paldo, Justin Figueroa. So hopefully he can get back in the mix because his name, he can get some. He got the name, even though his name is based off coming off a loss and a bad performance. He still got the name. We know he did his job in the Keyshawn fight. Keyshawn is the one that blew Wade and eventually destroyed his city. So Edwin can get back in the mix. He's still young too. I think he's like 26 or something like that. I don't know, but he can get back in the mix. Let's see which division he want to campaign at. I'm thinking 140 to be honest. I'm thinking 140, and 140 is a lot of good fights out there for him. And he's dangerous. We know Edwin at his game, at his top, he's a power counterpuncher. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be tough for a lot of guys, and he got good reflexes and stuff like that. So I would like to see him stay busy. One round last night. Shoot, let's see can he get back like the first 2 or 3 months in the new year. So let's get it. Eric Rosa, he came back after losing his WBA title against Luis De La Mora. Um, this was a robbery, yo. Eric Rosa got beat last night, but he got a very favorable decision. He got some wide scores, 98-92. Man, this Mexican kid, De La Mora, just outworked him. Was beating him to the punch. I mean, the whole fight, and they gave this kid the decision. It was disappointing because even the crowd was booing him, and this was in the home country of Rosa. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. He get hit too much for me. Even as a young champion, he was getting hit too much, and he got stopped earlier this year to come. He lost his title, but judging that fight, he probably won like 3, maybe 4 rounds, maybe three. I'm gonna say three. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely didn't win 5. So they gave him 8 rounds. Yo, he had some super home cooking. So yeah, that's disappointing. I don't even think they'll do a rematch. It was so egregious. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Rosa, like, I don't know if he faced a top guy at 108 pounds, he'll mess around and get stopped again. His defense ain't there, and he don't got the punching power to keep these guys up off of him, and he can get all work, and that's what happened last night. So yeah, that was kind of uneasy watching that. Tez in the bill. What's good with you, bro? Salute, Tez 305. He looked bloated. Yeah, he looked a little husky last night. Facts on Edwin. Not surprised he didn't look good in the fight. He got stopped. You talking about Rosa? Yeah, he didn't look good. He didn't look good. So yeah, but yeah, it's good that Edwin's back though because because a lot of people is hyped on him based on the big names. He got his hype off Shakur, but that was a bad performance by him. He ain't look good in that fight with a guy that was injured. He got finesse. That ain't nothing to celebrate. And then Keyshawn, he get a label as a boogeyman because Keyshawn did what he did. But still, let's see. Let's see. I like him in there with a lot of guys at 140. If he can make 35, that's cool too. But I think 135 is in the past. All right, so we had this one right here. This is on ESPN Plus. We had Jose Salas versus Ladege Nkeke. This is for the vacant IBL title at 118 pounds. Left vacant by Junto Nakatani, who vacated both his titles to move up to 122. Salas, man, he looked good last night. Southpaw, bouncing. He a boxer puncher. You know what I'm saying? He's solid. He looked good last night. He ended up stopping the KK in the seventh round. He had a buzz. It was a questionable stoppage to me. Let me see, can I pull it up real quick? It was a questionable stoppage, but I mean, salute to him. I thought he was winning the fight. I don't like to see no fighter get hurt, but I do like to see fighters get wins. Definitively. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a referee jumping in. Because the guy, even though they stopped the fight and he wasn't throwing nothing back, right? They still, he still had his high guard up. He still had his hands up. So that says something to me. Like, okay, he's aware. He's not throwing nothing back. He's not in like all on his feet, but he was kind of buzzed and looked like he was trying to get his thoughts together. But they end up stopping the fight. It is what it is. So my man Salas moves on. He's in the division at 118 pounds, where it's a transitional situation there because 1 second, I'm about to pull it up for you guys. But so that division is kind of flipped on his head because when the best fighter leaves, everybody's like scratching for um, trying to get to the top. So it was a couple of vacant titles. Let me pull this up. My man had it last night on his channel. I'm gonna take it to the stoppers though. Hold on, real quick. Hold on, let me take this off. All right, so y'all tap in with this. So Salas hurt him, nice little left hand, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He was dominating, rocked his head back. Some unanswered punches. And this is where the stoppers come at. So look, kid got his hands up. He taking punches, but I don't know. Y'all tell me in the chat. What y'all think about that stoppage? I mean, I do get it that he was taking shots and he wasn't throwing nothing back. Let's look at it again. You know what I'm saying? Educational purposes. The kid Solace is nice though. You know what I'm saying? I like his performance last night. He was dominating. But and this is important too because if Bam Rodriguez is coming to the division, 118 pounds, these guys will be in line for that because Bam, is going to go straight to the top. So he got his hands up. I get it. I don't know. Not the greatest stoppage, but it is what it is. The young man got the victory. Ain't nobody hating on that. So yeah, that's what it was last night. So we got a new IBF champion. Salute to him, Jose Salas. He said early stoppage. He said the punches was getting through, but I think it was a quick stoppage. Yeah, me, I'm like that too. Too early to stop. Yeah. So yeah, we in agreements. But shoot, the kid can obviously he can fight. He a new champion. In that division you have we have we have the WA champion fighting next week. Susumi. He gonna fight Nonito Donaire December 17th. So possibly get the winner. We got a new champion, WBC champion, Tacoma anyway. That's the monster's little brother. He's the WBC champion. That's a possible unification. Um, who else? WBO champion Christian Medina. He's supposed to fight sometime first quarter of next year. I think January. So those are possible unification for Salas. You know what I'm saying? In anticipation of Bam coming to 118. Bam don't get the unification. We're waiting on the winner between Garcia versus Kenshiro. Those guys are supposed to fight December 27th on the Anyway card. And that's the last belt left for Bam at 115, the IBF. If he don't get an opportunity at that because they have a mandatory Andrew Maloney, then Bam is going up to 118. So these champions, they're gonna be in position for a big fight right away because Bam ain't coming there and taking a let me get used to 118 fight and fight the number 9 contender to see how I feel. Nah, he going straight to the top. You feel me? So these guys they can position themselves, and if they can get a unification, that will draw more money and stuff like that. Y'all know how this shit work. So yeah, good win. All right, so this is a card right here from Orlando at the WBA convention. So late, shoot, maybe about 10 hours before the event started, we lost half of the main event. Cletus Selton tested positive for a banned substance and got kicked off the card. This is the same fighter that fought Zab Judah and ended his career hurting him and was accused of steroids back then, but he ended up popping dirty against Kevin Brown. So they got a replacement, Amos Coward. He's a southpaw. He stepped in on short notice to fight Kevin Brown. Um, Kevin Brown, I don't know, he won the fight, but those scores was wide. You know what I'm saying? And he was the guy that they was pushing anyway. He was supposed to fight Sardine for the Selden for the WBA interim title at 140. That's crazy. But they ended up downgrading that title to like a regional title. But he ended up getting the victory. Wide scores though. Ariel the Hulk Perez, he got a win. Tough fight on that card. He came through. Ennis Tellis got a stoppage win over Kendo Castaneda. He dropped him with a body shot and then he ended up just beating up on him. And my man quit in the corner. So this is Teller's first fight back after his only loss in August. He lost to Abbas Baru. That was a big loss. Hindsight 2020 because now Baru went straight into a unification with Xander Zayas. So that tells us that should have been him. So now he came back with a win. He still got high rankings in the WBA, so he can get right back in the mix, and he's young. So yeah, but that was a big setback for him. You know what I'm saying? And then the championship fight on the card: Jasmine Ortega versus Stephanie Silva. This is the third fight for the champion Ortega. I mean, look, yo, I thought she lost the fight last night, or at least a draw. I mean, Silva was creating a lot of pressure, and I noticed that's Ortega's kind of weakness right there. When you pressure her and push her back and throw a lot of punches, you get her issues. That's the same thing happened in her fight in March when she won the WBA title. I thought she lost that fight too. But this one was real close. But you wouldn't have known that shit if you listened to them scorecards. 96, 97. I mean, okay, I'm with it. It was competitive. I just thought Silva edged it out by that score. But the other two scores, it was 100 to 90 and 99, 91. That's nasty right there. That wasn't the fight that happened in the ring. So Jasmine Ortega retains her title. She said after the fight she want to unify. Got some solid champions in her division. Arioka, with that performance, she ain't gonna beat the WBO champion Arioka. Not with that one. And the Ruiz, the WBC champion Ruiz, I don't think she'll beat her with that performance either. So hopefully she go back to the drawing board. She's with MVP, so she will get big opportunities. But I didn't like the performance last night. I was keeping the buck. She ended up getting the victory. It was a look. It was a total contrast on what she did in her last fight against Lance Sandstrom. I mean, she was assertive, aggressive, and she was putting the beats on her and ended up stopping her. This one, she had opportunities to do that because she's the stronger fighter. But I think this Silver, Stephanie Silver was just a little bit more. I don't know, a little bit more rugged and tough, and she wasn't going for shit. So yeah, she can come back. You know what I'm saying? She's in a great position because she's with MVP. Definitely nasty work. Yeah. Now that wasn't those wasn't the scores for that fight for sure. All right. Badu Jack versus Noel McKinley. They fought a rematch last night. You know what I'm saying? This is on pay-per-view. You know, crazy shit. But as far as this fight, so this is a tap on the undercard. So the young kid Julius Balo that signed with Top Rank, he got a win last night. You know what I'm saying? He's a good fighter. You know, he got some skills too. And then what I like about him, he's unassuming. He don't look like he got those hands like that. But little dude got hands. He ended up getting a unanimous decision win. Salute to him. Johnny Mansour, he got a win last night as well. Up and coming prospect, you know, solid guy. They fight. They fight. So Balo fights with top rank and overtime, and Mansoor he just fights with overtime. So he was able to, you know, stay active and stuff like that to fight on this card. The ladies they had probably the best fight of the night. Um, Brooke Sabrian versus Gloria Mangia. That was a real good fight. A real good fight. That was a rematch, I believe, too. That was a good fight. They was stumping up in there. All right, as far as the main event, so this is an important fight for the cruiserweight division. It's for the WBC cruiserweight title. That title has been it's been crazy with the politics. But Badou Jack, man, he faded, bro. He's definitely done. Like he don't got the reflexes. The first round he got hurt with a jab. Didn't seem like too crazy, but he was hurt. But he weathered through that, and he was getting all boxed. You know, it was like a hold him type of fight. It wasn't nothing crazy, bro. It was a lot of holding, a lot of rabbit shots, but shots behind the head, the kind of dirty tactics. You know, McKalen was boxing. He was boxing using his jab, being patient, throwing an occasional right hand. Badu Jack was coming forward under a slow ass high guard, slow feet. He was getting touched up, and then he wasn't really doing nothing when he got close. Landed an occasional right hand or whatever. Well, nothing crazy. The fight was pretty even after six. Seventh round is when the shit changed. Seventh round, McKalen got deducted a point for him behind the head. So that was a 10-8 round for Badu. He actually won that round. And then the next round, Badu Jack lost a point for him behind the head. And then after the bell, those guys got into some rough house tactics, you can call it. They was punching after the bell, and it was like a little melee, but it got cleared out. And from the ninth round on, it was all McKalen. So if it was a close fight then, pretty much even, from 9 through 12, it was all Noel McKalen. Badu ain't do shit those last 4 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds. And McKalen he ain't do much either. He just boxed, let his hands go. He was landing a nice jab, and he was just that was it. He just outpointed Badu Jack to regain the WBC title. I scored it 8 rounds to 4 for McKalen. I mean, I seen some scores like 9-3. That makes sense too. So, so here's the big question now. Now that he's WBC champion, also too something to note: his trainer Pedro Diaz also trains Tim Zoo. You know, that's Tim Zoo's new trainer since losing to Fundora. he has to fly out to Australia like right now to go be with Tim Tszyu, because Tim Tszyu is going to fight December 17th in a very important fight against Velasquez. So that's a little note for you guys. But what's next for McKaylen? I think the Jabataya fight should be next, and all fingers point towards that fight. Like I mentioned before, Steve Bash, he's a front promoter for Turkey Al Sheikh, right? And like I said, he did the card, Canelo versus Crawford. He did these cards. He won the purse bid. So that tells you they are invested in that fight, right? They wanted Badu Jack to win, but because that's their guy, but he came up short. So here's the thing: Noel McKaylen is with Don King, and we all know that Don King will have his fighters inactive. You know what I'm saying? We all know that, and those and the way he worked is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You can have a fight signed and everything all good, have a press conference, everything, and then he'll send out a letter of cease and desist and then fuck up the whole fight. So if they got that shit clear with Don King, with Noel McKaylen, who's been having promotional issues with him, uh, then he'll fight Jabataya like in for the second quarter of next year. You know what I'm saying? We seen Jabataya last week. He got a highlight reel knockout, hurt the kid bad. So that's the fight that he need because of course, he's been calling out Zerto. Zerto going a different direction. He's looking to have a comeback fight and then fight Benavidez in May. You know what I'm saying? If he fight Noel McKaylen in May, maybe June, on the same time scale, then possibly we can get an undisputed fight. You know what I'm saying, with the winner of Benavidez and Zerto. So we'll see. But that's what I would like to see, and I think they're in position to make that fight now. Another good thing for that fight to be made, the WBC, they uh they will allow McKaylen to have a voluntary in his next fight. So that right there is good too. It's opened up the door for unification with Jabba Taya. So we're gonna see. We'll see. That's a natural fight to me, but the politics of boxing is crazy. You already know what time it is with that. Nah, he need to fight Ryan Waziski. Yeah, they ordered. They said that after his voluntary, he got two mandatory. The winner, whoever, let's say he do a voluntary against Abataya. If Jabataya wins, he got to do two WBC mandatories back to back, and vice versa. So the first mandatory is for the kid, the Polish dude. I forgot his damn name. Michelle Cieslak. Michelle Cieslak is a WBC interim champion. That's the first mandatory. The second mandatory is the guy you talking about, Ryan Roziski. So yeah, he's allowed a voluntary next. So we'll see. But there's been a lot of drama with the WBC and this cruiserweight title though. Been flip flopping and shit. You know what I'm saying? So and looked like Badu Jack broke his cheekbone last night. So I don't know how because he won't get hit with a lot of shots. Yeah, I seen it. I watched the last two fights. I saw the results on the other ones, but I watched the last. I watched the Vlad fight and Jalil Hackett. Yeah, those are the only two fights of kind of interest for me. So yeah, I tapped in. So we had this card right here, Matchroom last night. They was up in Stockton, Pacheco versus Sajo. We're gonna work our way up the card. Let me see, Cesar Oliveri, that Sam kid. Those were local guys. Shev Clark, he had a kind of scary victory last night against Anthony Holloway. The fight wasn't all that, but he started to touch Holloway, and then the corner in between rounds, Holloway just collapsed. So hopefully he good. I haven't heard much after that, but Clark ended up getting the stoppage win. Shev Clark regressed to me. He regressed. I don't know. Last year this time he was, he looked like he can be a potential world title challenger. Got a couple losses and stuff like that, and I don't know. I don't know. It's up in the air for him, and he's kind of older, so I'm not sure what's next for him. Arturo Cardenas versus Cesar Vaca. That was a good fight. Back and forth, real good fight. Cardenas, he said you're a new fan. Yeah, he's good though. You know what I'm saying? I like him. He landed a big right hand that dropped Vaca, and I thought he was like just doing the better work overall in the fight. And he fights at 122, so they look like they're gonna push him. It makes sense for Cardenas to fight on that Nunes and Navarrete card if he, if he can bounce back that quick. I know that's like a quick turnaround, but he would make sense for that undercard. Cardenas is good. He trains with Robert Garcia. That was a good win. Both guys was in Japan. It's crazy. Both guys was in Japan helping out the Japanese fighters for their world title fights and sparring, and then they came back and fought each other. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll see. I like Cardenas though, and Cardenas look 122. I'm not sure if he's ready for somebody like MJ, but I would like to see a man with a good solid name at 122, and I think he can do some good work. Shell Clark might be fading right before our eyes. Man, somebody on X on Twitter last night was saying he ain't looked the same since getting with Virgil Hunter. I was like, Virgil Hunter ain't looked the same since Andre Ward retired. So maybe that's a connection because they was talking about him and Bawaxi been looking crazy lately under the under training with Virgil Hunter. So I don't know if that's a correlation, but Sheriff Clark he don't look right to me. I'm not sold on Cardenas. Um, yeah, I mean he's a solid fighter though. I'm not sure if he gonna like at the top. If we compare him to the top, yeah, he might have some issues because like I don't know if he like MJ is a fight that he probably should be having. If you think you're gonna be a champion, MJ, Sam Goodman, uh, Marlon Tapalas, these guys, I don't know if he beat those guys. You know what I'm saying? He said, "I agree." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's up with Virgil Hunter. I know he was having some issues, but I ain't gonna lie. I I got sour on Virgil Hunter as a trainer when I saw in 2018 on the Wilder Ortiz undercard. When I saw he was the trainer for Andre Darrell. He was his trainer against Jose Uzcategui, the rematch, and he was getting beat up. And this dude, he did I don't know. I guess health issues. He couldn't even get in the ring. He was talking from outside the ring, and I don't know if it wasn't for Stitch Duran who stopped the fight. Man, we don't know what could have happened to Darrell. That shit was crazy. I agree too. Yeah, they be getting hit, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I was like, I don't know. I understand the play, like with Ben Whitaker, right? They ordered Ben Whitaker versus Bawaxi, but Matchroom got a plan for Ben Whitaker, so he's gonna stay on that plan. But he can beat Bawaxi. Bawaxi get hit way too much for me, and he got all boxes last fight against Zach Parker. Zach Parker ain't really do nothing in that fight. He ain't cut the ring off. I don't know. It's yeah, I think he is. Yeah, damn. Amari Jones, he's yeah, he's with him. But he looked good his last he been looking good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know the correlation of that. But yeah, I'm not really high on Virgil Hunter as a trainer right now, so we'll see. Amari Jones can be in position for a world title opportunity sometime next year with the IBF possibly getting vacated. I said possibly because guys, both all fighters, male and females, they test positive, and then we just sweep it on the road. It's no use to even reporting it, but that's another story. That's another live right there. I felt sorry for the guy Holloway. Um, he was down for he was down for that was kind of scary, bro. Yeah, hopefully he good. I haven't heard an update, but hopefully he's straight. Scott Nicholson versus Luna. This was a technical fight. You know what I'm saying? But that's what look. If you went to box rec to look up Scott Nicholson's opponent, and you seen Luna at 5 foot, bro. I seen that shit a couple years ago. I'm like, yo, this girl is like 5'7" and some change. Look like, but she was trying to box on the outside. And that's Sky's game. You know what I'm saying? So who was gonna be the aggressor? So Lorna is really a counterpuncher, got long arms and she like for you to come to her. But Sky won't go on and Sky tricked her to be the aggressor. And every time she did, she got countered with the right hook. That was the story of the fight. The right hook. She kept getting hit with the same right hook. Occasional left hand down the pipe. Sky fought real smart last night, you know what I'm saying? She didn't take the bait. She just stood she just drew a line, and if that girl crossed that line, she hit her with a check right hook. You know what I'm saying? So she won a decision victory. I thought she won. Old girl was celebrating like she won and shit, but I ain't see it. So Scott Nicholson is the new WBC interim champion at 122 pounds. Nice bounce back from losing her title to Tierra Brown. Tierra Brown went down to Australia to take her title and she bounced back. She got 3 fights. She moved down to 120, 122. She said because it was an opportunity, and she said that Tierra she gonna get the rematch with Tierra. So hey, now she in position to fight for the possible undisputed champion. Ellie Scotty is unified, but she supposed to fight the WBA champion, Madeleine Flores. That's gonna be a good fight too. Flores is a short, stocky Mexican fighter that throw a lot of punches. Gonna be in your grill. That's the type of fight that fits Sky's style. Ellie Scotney is a technician. Ellie Scotney is mean. She not a big puncher, but she's tough, and she gonna bring. That's a tougher fight for me. Well, both of those ladies are tough, but I think Ellie is a little bit more sharper and can give Scott some run for her money too. So let's see. Salute to her for bouncing back. I know she got the notion of getting everything hand fed to her because she's with Eddie and stuff like that. But I give her props for bouncing back. Like I said, I like the bounce back better than the fall down. But yeah, that was a good win by her. And Luna is a solid opponent. She's a 2-time world champion. You know what I'm saying? And she beat the WBA champion Flores already. Easy. So that's what's up. Ricardo looks sharp as fuck. Damn, they got he looked good. Good performance by him. If Ortiz is the next, yeah, that's a good fight. That's a good matchup. But that's not the case. I'm with it. Sky just outclassed her easy. Yep. Easy money for her. She could have stopped her if she pressed the action. I don't know about stopping. That Luna girl tough as hell. But I mean, maybe I'm with you though. Maybe assert herself. It's like she ain't try. So if she didn't try, we don't know. But I'm with you though. I'm with you. Luna was getting hit with that check right all night. Yeah, all night, bro. They made no adjustment. Then she on social media talking about a robbery. Ellie Front put belt. Yeah, man. Flores is tough now. You right. But they said that fight in January, so maybe that's gonna be added to the Serrano card. The Serrano might lose her opponent because I heard that Erica Cruz tested positive for Clenbuterol. I don't know if they're gonna let her fight. She tested positive last year, ain't shit happened, so maybe that ain't gonna happen this time. I like Ellie to get Sky. Yeah, I think Ellie win. Ellie can win that fight for sure. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be the aggressor. So Ellie, I like her because she can do a little bit. She can do both. She can come forward and she can box on the back foot and whether it be a boxer. And she can be aggressive. She can, you know what I'm saying? She can do a little bit of everything. And that gonna throw Sky off. Like what Tierra Brown did made her fight. And that's what she wasn't trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? She like her little slick counter puncher, but Tierra won't go on for that. And I don't think Ellie will either. Yeah, she do got more dog, definitely. Yeah, she coming off an injury. She had to get pulled out of damn what fight? I think it was a Jake Paul, the undercard. But yeah, she was coming off an injury or something. But hopefully she's good. You know what I'm saying? McCullough versus Moran. I mean, McCullough looked good, sharp last night. He looked real impressive last night. He probably was the most impressive guy last night that I've seen. Got good feet, range. He had, fast hands. He hurt Moran with that right hand in the first round. Um, you know, dropped. Did he drop? Yeah, he dropped him. man, dominant performance, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's like people look at Tony Moran like, oh shit, he supposed to do that to him. It's the way he did it. You know what I'm saying? How he went about his business. He won't fucking around with Moran up in there. You know what I'm saying? He won't mess around with him. Everything was technical. It was everything was he was counter punching. He was leading. His left hook was sharp. Right, everything was good. Body punches. I just like how he's assertive with his aggression. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's smart with it. Like he get in and out, but he's trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to set something up. He got nice long range. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be tough to beat, yo. And he's young and still developing. I know he talk a lot of shit and call out a lot of these guys, but he gonna be tough to beat. That's a tough style to beat. A guy that's in and out with his feet. They got power. They can box. That's long and rangy. Got can punch with both hands. Athletic. Yo, that's a tough out. And let's see. He ended up stopping Moran in the sixth round. So that was a good victory. That's a step up fight for him in sorts because a lot of his wins was against faded guys. Even though like Pedraza is a bigger name, and I think Pedraza beat Moran, but he was faded for sure. Moran coming off his best win of his career, and Tito Macalo dominated him. Like real talk, it's a lot of work at 140, which I'm excited for. I think he's a guy that's high risk, low reward. So that means he's gonna have to get in a mandatory position. Now, of course, he called out the winner between Teofimo and Shakur. He gonna definitely have to get in a mandatory position for that. Now, I ain't saying those guys is ducking, but this is where the business of boxing comes in play, and this is where Eddie Hearn has to come into play to get him in position. On that side of the street, you know, if Dalton Smith wins, that can be a future opponent. Richardson Hitchens, he re-signed with Matchroom. Um, Look, yo, I like Tito Mercado, and hopefully they can move him in the right direction. It's a lot of fights. We can go down 140 rankings. Just look at box rate. It's a lot of fights for him that he can have. Like real talk. They can be some step up to some guys that maybe got one loss that fought for a title, something like that. I think he needs some like Jukin Baliev is standing out to me. That'd be a solid name for him. You know what I'm saying? Even like Ergashev or so some of those guys that fought for world titles or something like that. But the dude nice. I like him. um, yeah, I brought a lot of stock. Yeah, yeah. Keep that. I think he can do some work. Even at 147, he look like he can fill into 147 as well. But 140 while he's here, he can make the weight. Hopefully, they got a nice path for him and a nice plan because it's gonna be tough to get the big names. I'm telling you, unless he's in a mandatory position. So if you look at, I'll touch on that. When you look at the mandatory position, you know shit. So he was holding up a WO regional title last night. He took off from Moran. So Teofimo mandatory is not due until the end of next year, Super Championship, right? Like he got 18 months after beating Barbosa. So I don't know. That's gonna take a little minute. So he can have a couple of fights in between. They should bring him back on that Nunez and Navarrete card for sure. Bring him back. But let me see. WBA route, bro. Who knows with the WBA? I wouldn't even go that route. They don't even know. They ordered eliminators all the damn time, and nothing never happened. We still waiting on Antoine to fight Andy Harako. WBC, that's Dalton Smith. So let's say the winner between Matisse and Dalton Smith, they got to fight Alberto Playo. So you know what I'm saying? That might push back his timeline there, and the IBF. So that's Hitchens. So Hitchens is doing a voluntary, and then if he don't get a big fight after the voluntary, he gonna have to do a mandatory. The winner between Paro and no, that's 147. No, Delgado is his mandatory. Delgado is his mandatory. So that probably be due like sometime in the second quarter, third quarter of next year. So I don't know what route he's gonna go, but I would say get the best available guy that's in these rankings is going to help build up his ranking, and then go from there. But it's going to be tough to get those top guys though. Tito definitely had the best performance. They all ducks. Everybody ducking. Tito got pedigree too. He was an Olympic alternate in 2021, qualified for Nicaragua. Yeah, and him and his dad built his career under the radar before they signed with Matchroom. After LD, what's good with you, bro? Salute. All right, Joe Cordina and Gabe Flores. This was a good fight. I thought Flores got off to a good start. Shit, I thought he was actually doing well until like after the 6, 7 round. But he was boxing real well. Good hand speed. His jab was on point, landing a lot of sneaky shots. He said if Shakur wins and drop the belt, it should be wide open for the WBO. You got Alfredo Santiago, number 2. If he beat Henry Cedeno, he'll be in the position. And then Keyshawn, if Keyshawn want to fight, But yeah, I agree. If he can climb on those rankings and stuff, and that title becomes vacant, yeah, he should be up there for sure. When the new rankings refresh, he should be at least crack the top 10. Um, I thought Cordina had good pressure, but I think it could have been better. And he kept trying to go over the top with the right hand, and he was missing. But I think actually the fight changed when he started going to the body, Cordina. When he started going to the body, I thought he started to slow down Flores. Man, Flores was doing good. That's what I'm saying. He was doing good. He was landing. Yes, he was landing a lot of shots in between Joe Cordina because he had the faster hands. But I don't think I think he kind of rocked him a little bit, but Joe was walking through a lot of them shits. But Gabe was fighting real well. But I thought like later on in the fight, I thought the body shots started to break him down. The fight was pretty even, you know what I'm saying? But like the back half of the fight, Cordina took over the last 3, 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Lee Jackson, what's good with you, bro? Salute to you. So Cordina, and he hurt Flores too. I think in the 10th round, he hurt him with a right hand. But Flores is tough as hell. He just like I said, he's a tweener. I don't. He probably should be at 130, but he don't got the. He's not a big puncher, but he probably should be at 130. But he got a decent enough skills to fight at 35. But yeah, he gave her those last couple of rounds, man. I scored it. So what? Cordina lost a point. Did he lose a point? I forgot why he lost a point for holding one. No, was it for him behind the head? He lost a point. So I scored it. I thought 8 rounds of 4 was cool. 7-5. I thought the back half of that fight Cordina took over. So this was like a eliminator for the WBO. The win they was talking about the winner getting Abdullah Mason. I'm not mad at Mason versus Cordina. That's a solid name for his resume. A good solid world champion, former world champion. They would be a good name on his resume for Abdullah Mason. So I'm not mad at that. Let's see. There's another kid in Argentina who was like number 2. Hector, what's his name? Chavez, Alan Chavez. So he might get the number 1 position too. It depends. But Cordina has a promotional backing, and he's 34 years old, so he gonna want to get the world title opportunity first. Um, I would favor Mason in that fight if that fight happens. But Cordina is a guy that he's experienced, and his experience and being tough down the stretch got him the win last night. You know what I'm saying? Because the pressure, I thought the pressure could have been a little bit better because, well, I think he should have mixed up his punch variety in that fight. But he ended up getting the win. That was a solid win. Salute to Gabe too. He came out and he was doing well though. He just started to fade a little bit. Um, he like, oh yeah, I thought I think it was the right hand. But Gabe played that shit off real nice. You know what I'm saying? He played that off. He got up real quick. He played that shit off, and they called it a push. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Flores got cooked. Winston Lee, what's good with you? Joe Cordina could be a homecoming fight for Abdullah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, let's see if Top Rank get that shit together because I don't see Turkey out of sheet and them bringing a fight to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? That's a Top Rank deal, but hopefully, you know what I'm saying. That's a solid first title defense for Abdullah Mason. Cordina, I mean, people write him off and shit. He got stopped by Kakashi, and I get it. But that's not a bad first title defense. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Cordina versus gonna break him up though. Yeah, Mason. Yeah, Mason. That's a different animal because he ain't gonna be able to walk in without caution against Mason. He gonna get clipped with some shit, and Mason can outwork him and push him back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Mason gonna do. I got you. Mason gonna. That's a different fight. A way different fight. All right, Diego Pacheco versus Kevin Saljo. Tough fight. You know what I'm saying? Pacheco, the first couple of rounds, the blueprint was there. You know, he in the middle of the ring, throw the jab, occasional right hand. When you get along the ropes, time up and do the same thing. But it like he started getting tired, and Sajo kept doing the same thing. Hit coming straight forward, getting the inside, all that wrestling and shit. That shit got Pacheco tired. And then Sajo started to land some sneaky shots. He was he was looping his shots like you're supposed to do as a smaller opponent. He dropped Pacheco with a left hook, one left hook. I think it was the eighth, seventh round, and that got him back in the like that. He was in business right there. I thought Pacheco was in control, but it was like a real murky, dirty type of fight. You know what I'm saying? He had to do what he had to do, but he could have. Look, Pacheco could have made that fight way more easier if he would just use his legs more. He didn't even have to sit there with my man. He could have tied him up and that's it, and got back using the ring. Like he didn't have to run, but use your legs just to, walk him into some shots. And he did it, sparingly, but he let Sajo and start to fight his fight. How you 6'4" and you fighting like you 5'10"? That was a detriment last night. And Sajo was tough. He really couldn't get a lot of his offense off because of the holding and the wrestling. Um, but he did land that damn left hook and sat Pacheco on his pockets. And that, you know what I'm saying? That was like a wake up call. But he didn't do enough work to get the win for me, Sajo. And I thought Pacheco banked a lot of rounds. So I mean, a lot of people is down on Pacheco's performance last night. I think out of the three he had this year, I like the Steve Nelson fight. I thought you know Steve Nelson was bringing that shit, tough, rugged guy, and he outwilled him and won the fight. The the McCamey fight, McCamey really wasn't doing too much, and that wasn't like a great fight either. McCamey was kind of hesitant and trying to box and all this shit, and Pacheco just stay on the outside and use his jab. This one, there's a lot of wrestling and holding, and he got a new trainer, so of course we're gonna blame the trainer. You know what I'm saying? He was looking like he was like his homeboy. He won't give him like a lot of good instructions and shit like that, for what I was hearing. So he been active. Pacheco got 3 fights this year against 3 top guys, or with 3 solid guys. Um, yeah, he don't need to fight that level no more. Let's see. Even though Sajo was tough, but Sajo didn't do a lot of stuff to really, win the fight, especially early. The knockdown was kind of interesting to see, but Pacheco kind of weathered the storm, and I don't know, it wasn't a great fight for him. So he called out Munguia. I don't mind that fight. I'm not sure if he get it. Uh, I seen the Ring Magazine post about him and Hamza Shiraz in February. I mean, shit, that'd be a tough one too. I know they or the WC ordered Hamza Shiraz and Billy, so I'm not sure what they're gonna do. But Pacheco probably take a rest. He had 3 fights this year. He probably won't be back until like April or May, from what I can see. We'll see, but he's young though, and it's kind of good to have these type of fights though. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have like a fight where you don't look real well, but you still win. But we have the naysayers. If you don't go knock somebody out in the first 30 seconds of a fight, fans gonna be off the train. They jump on the train when you do well, then they jump off when you don't. But I'm not really. I mean, I didn't like the performance by him, but I respect it because Sajo. Look, all those guys will be tough. Sajo will be tough against all those guys. Nobody's walking through Kevin Sajo, so it is what it is. Um, we'll see what's next, but probably something. I say like second quarter for him. We'll see. Pacheco is a solid talent, but like Robert Safar, they're seeing something missing. Hope they both get it together because if not, they'll be fooled for the next level. Yeah, Pacheco, I like Pacheco though. I like him. He can bounce back from this. He's young enough. Hopefully I think he got to get his training situation together. I ain't like that. Like, should go to Robert Garcia or Manny Flores. I know he switched from Jose Senior, Benavidez Senior because of the location. He wants to stay closer to home in L.A. Well, pick the best one in LA. You know what I'm saying? You got Manny Robles out there. Shit, you even got Freddie Roach. But I'm thinking either RGBA or Manny Robles. I rock with them. Yeah, I seen that. That's crazy because they know he fooled. I mean, look, I ain't so sure, man. I ain't so sure Pacheco can't win that fight against Hamza Shiraz. You know what I'm saying? I'm not so sure, but um, it's interesting that they posted that, but they're not posting about the WBC vacant title fight against M. Billy. That's more interesting than that. But I think Pacheco and Shiraz is pretty much 50-50, bro. I know Shiraz coming out the knockout win and we high on him and all that. But I never seen no, I have. The last time I seen him face somebody his height or taller, he got dropped. I forgot the kid's name, but I know you can go back and do your box rec on this. That same guy that dropped him, he fought uh, Jose Benavidez Jr. the fight before, and then he fought Hamza Shiraz in the UK. He tall. He dropped Hamza Shiraz. So maybe that's an indicator too. Maybe Hamza ended up getting up and stopping him. But what I'm trying to say is him fighting taller guys his height. I don't know. I don't know if he's fooled. We recently biased boxing fans and media. I don't know if he's fooled for Hamza Shiraz. Maybe on short notice and stuff and all that, but I mean, he ain't like look, Hamza Shiraz. Look, he last year we forget that what Carlos Adamas did to him. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how we fickle. We forgot all about that Adamas fight, but we just focus on what he did to Berlanga. But I think the Pacheco fight is pretty much 50-50. Pacheco can win that fight. If he got a good trainer with him, he can win that fight. But the way he fought last night, I mean, that's way different styles. Hamza Shiraz not gonna be coming forward under the high guard, holding and shit like that, and trying to get up underneath. It's gonna be more of a boxing match that kind of fits what Pacheco was trying to do. So I don't know if he's fooled. Sold my stock on Pacheco last night. Decent skills, but low ring IQ, and he gonna get hurt. I think that trainer shit, bro. You can tell he looked different. Pacheco downfall, his legs, his undefeated days are numbered. Yeah, he can use his legs some more. He say he's not beating Shiraz. I don't know. I don't know, man. Eddie called Dale boring, but what about Pacheco? Yeah. David used to beat him up in the gym. He think he had more dog in him. I mean, he showed. I mean, he didn't like will under the pressure after he got knocked down. Like he wasn't moving and running. He came to it. And I don't think he was hurt too. I think he was kind of like a. I mean, he got clipped with a shot where he was kind of off balance, but yeah, he's too slow for 168. Pacheco's starting to become Janabek can crushing. Man, those opponents he fought this year is better than those opponents that Janabek fought in his last couple of fights. Yeah, nah, I think those guys is better, to be honest. I like Berlanga chances to get past the jab and not smother his work. I'm not sold on Shiraz either. That's what I'm saying. Shiraz had a good performance over Berlanga, but I don't know if Pacheco food. I don't know. That Adamas fight still for. That's what I'm saying. I still remember that too. He said Flores can never get a win when he step up, huh? Seems that way. Yeah, it seems that way. What about Willie Hernandez? Or does yeah, that's no. You know what? That's not a bad one either, because he trained his brother who got like a long rangey style. I wouldn't mind that either. That's solid. Yeah, there you go. That kid right there. So that was a tall opponent, and he dropped Shiraz in that fight. Are you high or Pacheco or nah? Uh, you know what? I'm not as high as I was last year. Let's say that. I think, but that's due to the jury's still out on Pacheco for me, and I think I'm not mad at this 2025. The three guys he fought this year, all of them was tough in their own right. Nelson was undefeated. He proved to be tough. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up he beat him clear. But the Macombi fight wasn't. Macombi fight was worse than this in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? At least we had the suspense of if Sajo catch your ass, it might be some shit. But Macombi didn't engage like he did against in the plant fight. He was taking his time and got all boxed. But those names are solid. So it's definitely a learning year for Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? And look, it's kind of good that it happened that way because he was number one for Canelo. He was WBO mandatory before Crawford used his super championship privilege to get that position. He was number one. So this is a learning year for him. You know what I'm saying? It's a learning year. You know, so hopefully he can bounce back. I'm not gonna write him off, but at 168, it's a lot of guys in that mix that's pretty good fights. Like even Caleb Plant fall into that level now. I think Caleb Plant is faded. I think Pacheco will be favored over him. I don't know about Charlo though. Charlo got a good stiff jab, and you know, Charlo is alright. When motivated and in shape. But like guys like Beck the Bully, you know what I'm saying? Beck the Bully is in that mix. I think Hamza Shiraz is in that mix. You know, and Billy might be a little bit above them. I like his aggression and stuff like that. He got a tough style. That's not look. If he fight Hamza Shiraz, it's probably gonna look like how last night looked. You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna be in that dude's chest, throwing a lot of hard shots. He gonna let his hands go more than Sajo. Sajo was kind of accepting the clinch, and when he got close, so he ain't let his hands go all the time. That could look like that fight if in Billy and Shiraz. Um, so there's a lot of like Callum Simpson. He's fighting next week. Let's see if he can be in that mix. So it's a lot of guys that's super middleweight that's kind of like all bunched together. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's see where he goes from here. The good thing about Pacheco is that he has time to tweak some skills. I think he's get better before it's too late. Like even with like Munguia, he'll get Munguia. Like that's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? That's a good fight. But I'm with you though. If he settle in we had to give him this too. He was with Jose Benavidez about what 8 9 fights, and this is first fight without him. And you know what I'm saying, we gotta give fighters time to adjust, and this is arguably his toughest fight of his career. You know what I'm saying, and it's an adjustment. Y'all know that. So yeah, we can bash him because it's recent and say, "Oh, he ain't ready. He's fool. He's this. He's that." But let's look at the whole picture. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of guys that's not. If you're not elite, it's not a lot of guys, even elite guys, and when they switch trainers, they don't always look the best in that next fight. It depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the thing. Iglesias, yeah, Iglesias, yeah. He's on the top level at 168. He a problem. I like Cardenas. He a solid fighter. It's I'm not sure if he's like world championship level. Like what I mean is he could probably fight for a world title, but would he be able to win it? And he need a fight like a bridge fight. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy, like I mentioned earlier, guys like Marlon Tapales. If he can beat those guys, I think MJ might be a step up, maybe a step too far. But shoot, maybe Marlon Tapales is a step up, a step too far. But he needs somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I think if Cardenas versus Ramon Cardenas, it's like a good little gauge to see because if he was to get a world title fight, that's anyway. Damn, never mind. But if he was to get a top name at 122, I don't know. Like Shabazz Masood with outboxing. You know what I'm saying? Peter McGrail, that's probably like a 50-50 fight. So maybe one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Andre, he said excited for Ball versus Figgy. Um, yeah, that's a good fight. We'll see. Figgy, he been faded his last couple of fights, and we basing it off that. But this one can be rough and rugged too. This one can be rough and rugged because Nick Ball, so he's short, stocky, and when he get on the inside, you can't get your work off as the taller guy. You gonna do what? You gonna hold, and I can see a lot of that happening too. Like the first Fulton fight, that was a lot of holding in that fight, and yeah, man, yeah, it's interesting though. Brandon gotta have enough space and create enough space that he can get his punches off, and don't get smothered by the work of Nick Ball, and don't smother yourself. Yeah, Alan Picasso. Yeah, Alan Picasso is a type of fight like that. Sebastian Hernandez guy who's fighting Juntu. Yeah, that's a tough fight too. Juntu probably got the toughest fight between him and anyway because that Hernandez kid, he's coming. I like him too. I'm on fear to turn back the clock, man. That clock might be broke. I don't know. He ain't look good his last couple fights. Writing on the wall, bro. For if you look at how he fought, like he ain't have no game plan or no adjustments against Fulton, and then against Joet, I thought Joet outworked him, and that's crazy to say because who outworks Figueroa? You know what I'm saying? He better be careful though because Nick Ball is one of those guys. He's sneaky, even though he's short and stocky, but he kind of sneaky. He also has a good jab too, and that can set up some wide looping shots too. We'll see. That is a good fight though. On paper, it's fun. Going to be some headbutts in that fight. I can see that. I mean, with the damage he takes. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Could be for sure past his best. Yeah, I think so too. But the fight, it could be good though. If it take away the holding and those guys able to work on the inside, yeah, depending on the referee. I'm ready for Tim Zoo to bounce back this Wednesday. Yeah, he got an interesting week, man. His trainer is on his way to Australia. Getting there late. He's fighting on Wednesday, so about time he get there, it's gonna be what Monday or Tuesday, right? They like a day ahead of us. I hope that is not a detriment. Tim Zoo. This is a very important fight for Tim Zoo. He lose this, it might be a wrap. He done. You know what I'm saying? He probably still can fight, of course, but at a certain level, that's it. He's facing an undefeated fighter, Velasquez, who is from the New England area. He's trained by Hector Bermudez, but he really have this is a step up fight for him. and I think he may be the taller guy. I have to see him face off, but man, this is do or die for Tim Zoo. Moving up in weight, yeah, yeah, bro, and we're gonna see. January should be fun. Yeah, January. Yeah, it's gonna be a good kickoff to January. Um, the first couple of weeks, well, the first couple of weeks and all Januarys, it don't really be too crazy. But we do have a good, we got some good fights in January though, because the football season and all that shit, they winding down with the championships, the college championship, and then you got the NFL playoffs and all that. So it ain't really, you know, but it's gonna be okay though, because we do have we got Mel Serrano starting off the third. We got Sabrina Matisse and Dalton Smith. We got Jake Cabiel on the 10th. I'm not sure what's on the 17th, but the 24th, we got Raymond Tyler and Andy Cruz. The 23rd, that's the debut of Super Boxing. TKO supposed to have their first fight card. And then the 31st, everybody fighting on the 31st. Shakur, Teofimo, Xander Baru, uh, Mutazaliev, and Josh Kelly. Amazon supposed to fight that day as well. So yeah, the 31st gonna be packed. He was throwing Ray Vargas around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This might be the strongest guy Figueroa done fought too. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Yeah, his career is on the line for sure. Yeah, Cruz and Mortala. Yeah. So look, we should be hearing because we haven't heard nothing on that undercard other than Khalil Cole versus Jesse Hart. So we should be getting that undercard announcement pretty soon. For a lot of these cards is in January because look, it's a Christmas. Look, we're about to hit Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is under 8 weeks to fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's about a month left, and they haven't announced the undercards. So we should be getting that. Even with the German card, Ajit Cabiel. I know I seen that Yali Herrera versus Ricardo Nunez is gonna be on that card for the WBC interim title at lightweight. I'm laughing because that's Fulton's belt. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why Shot was able to get that. That's why I'm glad he didn't keep it because that belt wasn't for him anyway. Then Matisse. So we got a good fight on that undercard though at 140. Alfredo Santiago against Henry Cedeño. That's an important fight because Santiago is like number 2 in the WBO at 140. Curiel versus Alexis Rocha rematch. That's gonna be a fun fight too. That's on the 16th. Nikita Zoo versus Arafa on the 16th. So yeah, January is popping. Damn, you're right. Yeah, yep. Moses Atama on the 24th. Yeah, bro. Moses Atama versus Jermaine Franklin. That's a good card too. Yeah, bro. Pro Box got a card on the 30th. So yeah, you're right, my man. Right. The January is gonna be popular. Um, I hope To shows up. Yeah, I mean, To. Look, he's still gonna be tough to beat, regardless. You know, that's a tough fight for both guys, Shakur and Teofimo. That's a tough fight. Armando Vargas better not lose to YouTube. He mess around and lose. WBC move fast, don't they? Yeah, they do. They ordered that fight that week and took it away. You know what I'm saying? I was rewatching the first fight. Part two gonna be better. Gonna be lit. Yeah, Curiel, he got a new trainer. He's with Robert Garcia. That's an interesting fight for Rocha because Rocha has been inactive. He haven't fought since the first fight, and he's coming off an injury. So Curiel is kind of like at the highest, on his high right now. That's a good fight, and that was one of those fights where you know when it's a close fight, we sometimes we feel inclined to give it to one fighter or the other. After that fight, I was like, bro, that's a draw. I don't know who won that damn fight. But both guys was trying to win, but it was just like it was so evenly matched. I'm like, bro, that's a draw, yo. I can't even. I don't know because I thought Rocha did good work and Courier did good work also. So yeah, that's a good fight. And they haven't really announced their full undercard either. That's the card that Zerto's supposed to make a comeback fight. You know, so they're saying Zerto he may not fight Robin Sufar, and then maybe they're not gonna fight on that day. If they fight, maybe they'll fight on the undercard of Barrios and Ryan Garcia. So they should be announcing that next week. I'm expecting a lot of announcements next week, at least 3 or 4. I'm expecting the Ryan Garcia Barrios announcement because we know the fight is done. They already started VADA, so now announce the fight. Um, all these fights has already been announced that don't have undercards to them. I'm expecting that. You know what I'm saying, to go ahead and get it out before Christmas. Um, yeah, bro. What else in the news, real quick? They said that Fury and AJ had agreed, or they worked on a fight for them later next year. I mean, man, let me know when we get to that point. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to take interim fights, and you know, let's see. The action was back and forth. Rocha kept boxing him. Yeah, he looked like he was trying to not get into that all out war. But let's see, man. That's an interesting fight. That's an important fight for welterweight as well. You know what I'm saying? The winner should be able to get a world title fight. You know what I'm saying? At least. Um. So Fury and AJ, so AJ he gonna fight Jake Paul. Like I always say, I never break down a Jake Paul fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Nobody gave me the script. You know what I'm saying? Sue me because I don't know. I feel like dude clap his gloves together 3 times and dude be like, all right, it's my time to lay down. I ain't gonna lie. It feels that way. You know what I'm saying? Um, but if it is on the up and up, AJ should stop this dude 1 or 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he touch him, he should get him up out of there. And AJ is supposed to fight Riyadh Season, February the 14th. I don't know who he gonna fight, but that's the plan. And then uh, fight Fury later on in the year, September, October, something like that. So we'll see. Um, I seen Bill and, and Eddie going back and forth last night. That was, that shit's funny social media type shit. You know, Eddie been critical. Well, I mean, I ain't mad at Eddie's assessments of Devin. I actually kind of agree because I feel like Devin is was a way more exciting fighter than he is now post Ryan Garcia. Not saying he had to go in there and wing punches and go crazy, but he could have stopped Brian Norman. He could have stopped him because after he dropped him in the second, he couldn't miss with his jab. His jab is the shit that busts him up, busts his nose and shit. And if you can land a jab, the right hand should be coming down. You know what I'm saying? Not too far after that. But he said he said I was literally just typing. Yeah, bro. I'm with it. You know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind it, and I think that's actually a good fight for Devin. I favor him in that fight for sure. Crocker is a pressure fighter, but he got power. You know what I'm saying? That's another big punching guy that I think Devin can, outbox and stuff like that. It's a unification. It's more intriguing if Devin goes over there to Ireland, going into the Lions Den. That would actually make him a bigger star because they would embrace him more over there than he is over here. He get a lot of hate over here. You know, some people say rightfully so. So I like that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like it because I feel like we can read between the lines as boxing fans. We intelligent with this shit, bro. They can't hide nothing from us. So this move tells me, because this one was kind of, I won't really think about this move because I know Lewis Crocker was trying to have a homecoming fight, but he want to get paid for that. So I guess he willing to take the biggest fight. Um, and Devin, he was talking about fighting Ryan Garcia, but they already working out a plan to make Ryan Garcia, if he beats Barrios, or whoever wins, Barrios and Ryan Garcia, they're gonna fight Conor Ben. So Devin is like, you know what? Let's do a chess play, which just kind of makes sense. Go try to get that IBF, and you'll be closer to undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Will he get it? I'm not sure, but it's a lot of shit to go into it because whoever wins that fight gonna have a mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon, Liam Paro or Patty Donovan, who's fighting January the 16th. So I like the move though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at him going to Ireland. People gonna talk that shit, whatever, because Devin get a lot of hate. But look, what if they can get it in NYC and bring Patty Donovan over here with those Irish fans in March? You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope, but I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how Devin is reserving Ramadan and how that should work. Maybe that don't even mean nothing no more. I don't even know. But that would be an option too. Do it at MSG, and let's see if Devin is really can fill out that arena. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's another option. But going over to Ireland, I like that idea. I like when guys travel and go beat guys in their home country. And he done it before, so it ain't nothing too crazy. So let's see. And he don't have to worry about he don't got to worry about the rehydration clause anyway. Yeah, that power had Paddy Donovan on his best behavior. Yeah, yep. So let's see. Hostile environment. That's a fight he should win though. The business of boxing and everybody timeline say go get the IBF. Now for sure, that's the only belt for unification that's available. Because no matter what they saying, that they saying Rolly ducking him. You can say Rolly ducking him by the way he's speaking. He don't want to fight anybody, blah, blah, blah. He been saying that shit for years. But we all know that Rolly and Pacquiao in negotiations. They've been in negotiations, bro. They know this. But to push a narrative because it's Devin, let's say he's ducking. Maybe he is ducking. Nobody sent no contracts, but they do know that he's in negotiations to get Pacquiao. So that's out the way. Um, so WBC, he gonna have to wait. You know what I'm saying? But while he's waiting, he can get 2 fights in. He might not get that big. So I'm thinking like the winner of Barrios and Ben, if they become WBC champion, they can get Devin. He have 2 belts. Let's say he had 2 belts at the time. That's a big fight, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen next year because I'm pretty sure the IBF is going to order. They're going to order their mandatory for sure. So yeah, bro, that makes sense. Go get the belt. Go get that shit. He said if he's planning on become undisputed, he might not get the biggest bag, but maybe that fight can do some business. Like I'm pretty sure those they try to do that at Windsor Park. I'm not sure how much that venue holds. I'm not sure, but if they can fill that shit out, and man, if Devin go do like a little tour over there in the UK, man, those guys they going to embrace him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a big name, big star, big name. Come with a lot of come with a lot of y'all know how it is with Devin. Devin get a lot of praise, he get a lot of hate. He got a lot of fans overly you know what I'm saying? He got fans that be riding his meat, you know what I'm saying? Then he got haters that everything he do, they're gonna criticize. I'm not mad at this, to be honest. If that's his goal to become undisputed at a second weight class, you gotta start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But some of the shit be disingenuous. Like they never offered Rolly no fight, from my understanding, and they knew he was. They know Rolly and Pacquiao was in play, and who would you pick? Everybody would pick Pacquiao over Devin Haney. Devin would pick Pacquiao over anybody too. So it ain't really whatever. But I actually I like this fight. I like this fight. It can be even more spicier too, if because Bill and Devin, they feel like Eddie been disrespecting them. So maybe he go beat his fighters and then shut them up. Shut them up. What they say is 18,000. I don't know. Maybe they can get 20 up in there. So yeah, bro, that's interesting shit. Um, this week though, we'll be back tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. We're gonna talk about this upcoming fight week. It's an interesting fight week too. We actually gonna have cards starting on Tuesday all the way to like Sunday, because I believe the Lawrence Okoli card in Nigeria got pushed back to Sunday, and we haven't heard much on their opponents as well. So I'm not even sure that card gonna even happen. But we'll figure it out. Um, we got some good stuff popping, man, and y'all stay tuned. We should have the WBO rankings come out this week too. So when they come out, we're gonna cover them, and then we're just gonna keep track of all the news and notes for the week, and then we'll come back and we'll cover everything. Y'all know how we get down. Salute to everybody coming through the building, yo. I appreciate the time. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Salute to the playback. I appreciate you guys. Continue to come through. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one, and I'm out.